So, I think sometimes when you're like, I'm an addict, and this is sometimes I know that in step programs, you're like, you have to stand up and say, I'm an addict. Well, to me, I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of I mean, I get the theory behind it, but I'm like, that's like saying I'm a disgusting fat body. If you keep saying that to yourself, you're just going to stay one. And I know because right now I am one. So, so I think that the issue is when you just say, I am this and I am that, I'm an addict. Well, you're really, and I think you're kind of perpetuating that behavior.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's what there's a lot of controversy. Not controversy, but there's two sides to looking at that introduction in a in a 12-step recovery
right,
meeting.
right.
And I have to agree. I'm very careful with the I am statement as well. And but no, it was I know that my drinking was an attempt to solve a problem, a deeper problem that I didn't know at the time. But so it was an attempt. Again, I'll say that it was an attempt. Um, and
Yeah, I still the solve word just throws me. Like I don't think. Yeah, I think you say maybe my drinking was an attempt to cope with a problem, but not
to
solve it.
mask,
Yeah,
to
because I
mask.
just don't think. I mean, when I think of solving things, I think that means you've come to a resolution, right? Like I solved
Hmm.
it. Like if you're doing complex math or you're doing whatever, I solved this problem. It's done, right?
And
Whereas the drinking isn't solving it; it's masking or it's a way to deal with it,
right.
however screwed up it is, but
Eh,
it's not a solution. Like, you know, does that make sense?
yes.
So,
You know, you said something really cool too. And because I look at your story and I remember in our younger years, very younger years, when you were a hellion and you drank um, to cover your anger because you had a lot of anger in you and you're an anger. You're a fight. Okay. I was a freeze. Now mine came much later in life, but I was still attempting to mask something. And then it got a hold of me and I closed down even more. So I've always been a freeze or a fawn. You were a fighter.
yeah, I've never been
And
a
so
freeze.
what no, you've never been a freeze. And I know that about your childhood too and about you from teenage years on. And um when we use anything, alcohol, drugs, anything, we're looking outside as a way to find a new mask to make sense of it. And yours was that. And I remember the days well, Alan, very well. Kyle, stick with us here. I remember Alan's younger years where he could go to a party and I called him the Tasmanian devil because God helped the people in their house party because then the day after they hated Alan, but he could just sit back calmly, sober and blame it on the alcohol and the party. It's just that's what you do at a party, right? You go and destroy things in people's houses. But for me, I froze because I was at a point in life, a different point in life, much later in life, where I didn't know how to handle the outside world as well. And I couldn't make sense of it. So we were looking for something to let us off the hook, some sort of, it's cognitive dissonance all the way. I'm looking for something, a mask to wear that makes sense of who I am. And I can't find it. Yours, alcohol was very useful in your early years of pinning your rage and anger on a hat somewhere outside of me. So it is this cognitive dissonance where we're placing what's happening outside of me so that I don't have to deal with it. Mine came much later in life and it was marital and it was where I was physically and, in the country at the time, very isolated, very alone, with with a family, and it's like, what do I do? What do I do? And who am I? And so I'm was doing the exact same thing you did, only much later in life. And I was still looking for a mask to wear to hang this, what's going on. And that's, that is a perfect call. To go back to the hero's journey, Kyle, that is the perfect, you're right, for a sledgehammer from the universe. And to wake you up and say, now there's, you got to go. You got to get out of this in a real authentic way.